Hi guys, this is Vaish from Vaishayes and we are going to continue the RS Sharma series. So we are now doing chapter 16, that is the Satavahanas. Very important chapter with respect to prelims. There are a lot of factual information, so please pay attention, pause whenever required and make notes also whenever required. But I would suggest buy the test series also, because test series will cover almost questions from every page of this textbook and it will be a clear revision for you. You just don't even need to read the actual textbook. Watch my video, buy the MCQs and practice. Your ancient history will be completely done. That is my guarantee. Okay. So let's begin this particular chapter, the age of the Satavahanas, that is the chapter number 16. So first we will start the political history. The most important of the native successors of the Mauryans in the Deccan and in central India were the Satavahanas. Okay, last chapter we saw a lot of foreign invasions like Greeks, we saw Shakas, we saw Kushanas, we saw, and in between Parthians we saw. Okay, all these were small kingdoms here and there, but Satavahana is the most important and the most largest, maybe you can tell, in the Deccan region. Okay, they were considered to be identical with the Andhras, okay, who were mentioned in the Puranas. So in Puranas it's like mentioned Andhras. The Puranas speak only of the Andhra rule and not of the Satavahana rule. Okay, so you should know such things. Purana is mentioning only Andhra rule and not Satavahana rule. On the other hand, the name Andhra does not occur in the Satavahana inscription. Okay, so that is kind of a strange fact. The Puranas is telling something called Andhra kingdom is there, but their inscriptions is not mentioning anything like Andhra. And also, according to some Puranas, altogether the Andhra ruled for 300 years and this period is assigned to the rule of the Satavahana dynasty. So timeline is same, okay, in both the versions. The earliest inscription of Satavahana belonged to the 1st century BC when they defeated the Kanvas and established the power in parts of central India. The early Satavahana kings appeared not in Andhra but in Maharashtra. Okay, so it is like, even though Andhras is mentioned here and there, the first early kings were there in Maharashtra region where most of their early inscriptions have been found. They set up their power in the upper Godavari valley, which at present produces rich and diverse crops in Maharashtra. Gradually, the Satavahanas extended their power over Karnataka and Andhra. Their greatest competitors were the Shakas. Okay, Shakas, Kushanas we have already seen, so these were the competitors. Rudradaman was the most important king here, who had established their power in the upper Deccan and western India. At one stage, Satavahanas were disposed of their dominance by the Shakas in Maharashtra and western India. The fortunes of the family were restored by Gautami Putra Satkarni, very important ruler, 106 AD. He called himself the only Brahmana, defeated the Shakas and destroyed many Kshatriya rulers. Okay, so he's calling himself as a Brahmana and he is telling he defeated the Shakas. He claims to have destroyed the Kshaharata lineage, okay, in which his adversary Nahapana belonged. This claim is true because more than 8,000 silver coins of Nahapana found near Nasik bear marks of being restruck by the Satavahana king. So there is a claim in Satavahana textbooks like inscriptions like they have destroyed his lineage, okay, which is like adversary Nahapana belonged there. So in there also like coins have been mentioned where it is restruck with the Satavahana king things. So it's like it's proven that whatever that textbook is claiming, it is true. So he also occupied Malwa and Kathiawar, which lay under the control of the Shakas. It seems that the empire of Gautamiputra Satkarni extended from Malwa in the north to Karnataka in the south. Possibly he also enjoyed general authority over Andhra. The successors of Gautamiputra ruled till AD 220. The coins and inscriptions of his immediate successor Vasishtaputra Pulumai. Okay, so Gautamiputra Satkarni and next is Vasishtaputra Pulumai. Found in Andhra and show that by the middle of the 2nd century this area had become a part of the Satavahana kingdom. He set up his capital at Paithan or Pratishthan on the Godavari in Aurangabad district, okay, again in Maharashtra. The Shakas resumed their conflict with the Satavahanas for the possession of Konkan coast and Malwa. Rudraman won. The Shaka ruler of Saurashtra, Kathiawar region, defeated the Satavahanas twice but did not destroy them on account of matrimonial relations. Okay, so there were fights happening but did not destroy each other's kingdom because they had matrimonial alliances also with each other, the Shakas and the Satavahanas. Next ruler is Yajna Sri Satkarni, okay, 165 AD. One of the later kings recovered northern Konkan and Malwa from the Shaka ruler. So if you just no need to buy heart, but you should know these ruler names, 3 ruler names, Gautamiputra and this Vasishtaputra and also Yajna Sri, and they were like fighting with the Shakas all the time and regions were getting claimed and reclaimed each time now and then. Okay, now he was a lover of trade and navigation. His coins have been found out only in Andhra, but not only in Andhra but also in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. Okay, so a trade loving person, navigation loving person, and also coins are found. This is actually not Satavahanas alone, it's the entire kingdoms that time. Okay, map. If you want, you can pause and see. His love for navigation and overseas trade is shown by the representation of a ship on his coins. Okay, So that is about Yajnasri Satkarni. Aspects of material culture. The material culture of the Deccans under Satavahanas was a fusion of local elements and northern ingredients. The megalith builders of Deccan were fairly acquainted with the use of iron and agriculture. Although before 200 BC we find some hoes made of iron, the number of such tools increased substantially in the first 2 or 3 centuries of the Christian era. Okay, so telling about the number of tools, the megalithic culture, iron usage, agriculture, everything was flourishing at that time, and these people also used it. Now, beside socketed hoes or sickles, spades, plowshares, axe, razors, etc. All these are examples. Okay, you don't need to buy heart, but you should know it was like a lot of tools were there, war or agriculture, everything they had all these things. Site, okay, Karimnagar site. It is in near Tamil Nadu. I mean, not the present day Tamil Nadu, but that times Madras region. You can tell towards Andhra region or something. This Karimnagar district was there. Blacksmith shop was discovered. Okay, blacksmith. The Satavahanas may have exploited the iron ores of Karimnagar and Warangal. Okay, Warangal again, Kakatiya dynasty. When you learn medieval India, you will know. Okay, distraction indication of districts, indications of iron workings as early as the megalithic phase have been found. Evidence of ancient gold workings has been found in the Kolar field. Kolar field is in Karnataka. Okay, Kolar field in the early Christian centuries. The Satavahanas may have used gold as bullion, for they did not issue gold coins. Okay, so Satavahanas did not issue gold coins like the Kushanas or something, but they had the usage of gold. They also issued copper, bronze, etc. So a lot of other things. It's not like only gold coins. Okay, all the other metals were used. The Ikshwakus also issued their coins. Okay, these are actually the kind of successors you can tell of the Satavahana. Both the Satavahanas and the Ikshwakus seems to have exploited the mineral resource of the Deccan. The people of the Deccan know the art of paddy transplantation, and in the first 2 centuries, the area between the Krishna and the Godavari, especially at the mouths of the 2 rivers, formed a great rice ball. The people of the Deccan also produced cotton. In the foreign accounts, Andhra is considered to be famous for its cotton products. Thus, a good portion of the Deccan developed a very advanced rural economy. According to Pliny, okay, Pliny is actually a Roman writer, you can tell. Pliny, the Andhra kingdom maintained an army of this thing. Don't remember the numbers, but this person has this habit of going and doing exaggeration about all the kingdoms. Okay, this many elephants, this many cavalry. Just know Pliny is from Roman. Through contacts with the north, the people of the Deccan learnt the use of coins, burnt bricks, ring wells, etc. The elements of the material life had become quite important in North India by 300 BC, but they acquired importance in the Deccan a couple of centuries later. Okay, so just telling about the rise and fall of different regions. The Pedabankur, okay, again timeline is given. In Karimnagar district, we find regular use of fire-baked bricks and use of flat perforated roof tiles. All this must have contributed to lasting structures. What is further remarkable is the fact that as many as 22 brick wells belonging to the 2nd century AD have been discovered at that site. Naturally, these facilitated thick habitation, and we find their covered drains underground to lead wastewater into soakage pits. Towns appeared in Maharashtra by the 1st century BC when we find several crafts. Okay, it's like too much detailing about that society. Okay, you just need to have a overall understanding that they had a kind of flourishing rural economy with all the agriculture related thing, all the tools, all the irrigation, drainage system, covered drainage, then tiles, floor, wall, burnt bricks. Okay, these kind of keywords, if you remember, that is more than enough. Okay, Satavahana rural economy was flourishing. That's all. Don't feel bored by seeing these many factual information. Social organization. The Satavahanas originally seem to have been a tribe of the Deccan, but they were Brahmanized, and their most famous king Gautamiputra Satkarni claims to have established the 4-fold Varna system which had fallen into disorder. Okay, so they were supporting the Varna system and were Brahmins. He boasts that he put an end to the intermixture between people of different social orders. So he is actually boasting about that Varna system also. I did not allow anyone to mix together. I am just demarcating people properly. That is what he is boasting. Such a confusion was obviously caused by the Saka infiltration and by the thin and superficial Brahmanization of the tribes living in the Deccan. The absorption of the Sakas in Hindu society as Kshatriyas was facilitated by intermarriage between the Sakas and the Satavahanas. Okay, so again, intermarriages happening between different clans and all. So it's just mentioned here. Similarly, the indigenous tribal people were more and more acculturated by the Buddhist monks who were induced by land grants to settle in the western Deccan. It is suggested that traders also supported the Buddhist monks for the earliest caves. Earliest cave seems to have been located on the trade routes. So again, telling about Buddhist influence also. Okay, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Buddhist. Okay, all these influence, inter-religion, mixing, all these things they are telling. According to Dharma Shastra is the Brahmanical law. Okay, Brahmanical code of law. the function of the Kshatriyas is to rule, but the Satavahanas rulers were called themselves Brahmanas. Okay, so it's just contradicting, because this rule will tell like only Kshatriyas should rule, but here Satavahanas are Brahmins and they are ruling. Gautamiputra boasts that he was the true Brahmana. Since the Andhras are identified with the early Satavahanas, probably they were a local tribe who were converted to Brahmanism. The Orthodox Brahmanas of the north looked upon the Andhras as a mixed caste. So people just seeing each other in different ways. That is what they are explaining there. And then, okay, we reached it, mixed caste. Okay, so increasing craft and commerce in this period brought many merchants and artisans to the forefront. Merchants took pride in naming themselves after the towns to which they belonged. Both artisans and merchants made generous donations to the Buddhist cause. They set up small memorial tablets. Among the artisans, the Gandhikas, okay, it's important, Gandhikas or the perfumers are repeatedly mentioned as donors. At a later stage, the term Gandhika became so general as to denote all the kinds of shopkeepers. Okay, so Gandhika means shopkeepers, and from this only the modern day title Gandhi is derived, okay, from the ancient term. The most interesting detail about Satavahana relates to their family structure. In Aryan society in North India, father enjoyed greater importance than mother. We have already seen that. And the princes whom we have considered to far till now, okay, seem to have belonged to the patriarchal society. But Satavahanas show traces of matrilineal social structure. Now don't get confused, it is not matriarchal, it is matrilineal. Okay, so UPSC have asked this in the past, I think, like the Satavahana was a matriarchal society. That will be false. Okay, it's not matriarchal, it is a patriarchal society only, where the rulers will be like son only, son of the father will be becoming the next ruler. But matrilineal means the naming, they will use the mother's name. Okay, like here if you see Gautami Putra or Vasishtha Putra, it's all mother's name, mother, like Putra of Vasishtha, Putra of Gautami, it's the mother's name they are using along with their name. Okay, so it's matrilineal but not matriarchal. Okay, please remember that. Here it's mentioned the ruling family was patriarchal because the succession to the throne passed to the male member only. Okay, pattern of administration. The Satavahana rulers strove for the royal ideal set forth in the Dharma Shastra. The king was represented as the upholder of Dharma. To him were assigned a few divine attributes. The Satavahana king is represented as possessing the qualities of ancient gods such as Rama, Bhima, Keshava, Arjuna, etc. He is compared in powers and luster to these legendary figures and to supernatural forces. This was evidently meant to attribute divinity to the Satavahana king. Okay, so again, sons of God and all. I think in Kushanas also we saw the kings are ruling class considered as having the power of God. Okay, Satavahanas kept some of the administrative units found in Ashokan times. Their district was called as Ahara. So Ahara, the term is district. Okay, not only in Satavahana time but also in Ashoka's time. Ahara means district. In offices already Amatyas and Mahamatras we have seen already, Amatya Mahamatras, and even in Ashoka's time there was something called Dharma Mahamatras, Dhamma Mahamatras, who will be spreading the Dhamma concept. Okay, so that's also retained. But we notice certain military and feudal elements in the administration of Satavahanas. It's significant that Senapati was appointed professional governor. Since the tribal people in the Deccan were not thoroughly interiorized and reconciled to the new rule, it was necessary to keep them under strong military control. Okay, so the people had to be kept under control, so there was provincial governor and military generals and all. Very important term, another one, Gaulmika. What is Gaulmika? He is the administrator in the rural areas. Okay, Gaulmika, and he is also the head of the military regiment consisting of 9 chariots, 9 elephants, 25 horses, 45. Don't need to remember the numbers, but you should know everything was there. Okay, elephants is there, cavalry, chariot, horses, foot soldiers, everything is there, and it's called Gaulmika. Gaulmika is the head of this military regiment or the administrator of the rural area. Okay, Gaulmika. Please try to remember. The head of the army platoon was therefore posted in the countryside to maintain peace and order. The military character of Satavahana rule is also evident from the common use of such term as Kataka and Skandavaras. Okay, what is Kataka and Skandavaras? It is military camps. Okay, military camps and settlements. So you should know, that is why it is called like it is understood or concluded by historians that Satavahana rule supported lot of warfare. Okay, military character. Kataka and Skandavaras are military camps. Okay. The Satavahanas started the practice of granting tax-free villages to Brahmanas and Buddhist monks. Okay, so they are the ones who started giving tax-free villages to Brahmanas and Buddhist monks, both. Okay, they cultivated fields and villages granted to them were declared free from molestation by royal policemen and soldiers and all kinds of royal officers. Okay, so directly the kings dealt with the monks. Okay, the Buddhist and Brahmin monks. These areas therefore became small independent islands within the Satavahana kingdom. Possibly the Buddhist monks also preached peace and rules of good conduct among the people they lived with, and taught them to respect political authority and social order. The Brahmanas of course helped enforce the rules of Varna system, which made society stable. Okay, so again the same thing, Varna system, then Buddhist monk, giving tax-free villages, those are the important points. Satavahana kingdom had 3 grades of feudatories. Okay, 3 grades you should know. First one is Raja, next is Mahabhoja, and third is Senapati. It's like the order of their feudatories. Okay, Raja, Mahabhoja, Senapati, and everybody had their own privileges or benefits and all. Now religion. Satavahana rulers claim to have been Brahmanas, and they represented the march of triumphant Brahmanism. From the very beginning, kings and queens performed the Vedic sacrifices such as Ashwamedha Vajpaya. We have done this in detail in the Vedic times, Ashwamedha Vajpaya. They also worshipped a large number of Vaishnava gods such as Krishna, Vasudeva and others. They paid liberal sacrifice fees to the Brahmanas. Okay. So this is the picture of a Chaitya actually. Chaitya and Vihara, you should know, Chaitya is this pillared hall kind of thing, and Vihara will be like, it will be having a veranda, it will be having a door. It's the place where people stay. Okay, that is Vihara. But Chaitya is the prayer place. Okay, so it will have pillared hall. However, the Satavahana rulers promoted Buddhism by granting land to the monks. In their kingdom, the Mahayana form of Buddhism commanded considerable following, especially the artisan class. Okay, so Mahayana Buddhism was more popular. Nagarjuna Konda and Amaravati in Andhra Pradesh, these are 2 places, okay, became important seats of Buddhist culture under Satavahanas. Then Ikshvakus, this is the next successor, okay, successor kingdom, they also did the same. Similarly, Buddhism flourished in the Nasik and Junar areas in the western Deccan in Maharashtra, where it seems to have been supported by the traders. Okay, so traders also supported Mahayana Buddhism. Architecture. In the Satavahana phase, many temples and monasteries were cut out of the solid rock in the northwestern Deccan or Maharashtra with great skill and patience. In fact, the process had started about a century earlier from 200 BC. The 2 common structures were the temple, which was called Chaitya, and the monastery, which was called Vihara. I told you already, Chaitya is a large hall with number of columns, and Vihara consists of a central hall with a doorway and a veranda. The most famous Chaitya is that of Karle. In picture you can see Karle is actually in near Aurangabad. I think it's near Maharashtra only, western Deccan. It is about 40 meters long, not required. Okay, so you just need to know Chaitya and Vihara. These 2 pictures are very important. One is the worshipping of Buddha, okay, which is at Amaravati, and this is actually the scene depicting Buddha's sermon. Okay, and this is at Nagarjuna Konda. We already saw Nagarjuna Konda and Amaravati, both were seats of Buddha. So one picture about worshipping and one picture about the sermon. Okay. Viharas or monasteries were excavated near the Chaityas for the residence of monks in the rainy season. At Nasik, we have 3 viharas. Since they carried the inscriptions of Nahapana and Gautamiputra, it seems that they belong to the 1st, 2nd century AD. So based on the timeline inscriptions, they are deciding the timeline. Rock cut architecture is also to be found in Andhra in the Krishna Godavari region. But the region is really famous for independent Buddhist structures. The most important of these monuments are the stupas distributed over an area of 125 kilometers all around Ellora. Okay, so a lot of Buddhist stupas are there around Ellora. The most famous of them are Amaravati and Nagarjuna Konda. The stupa was a large round structure erected over some relic of the Buddha. Okay, that is the remains of the people, the Buddha or the Bodhisattvas and all. They will be that will be there in the base of this stupa. Okay, and even some belongings will be there. Some pearls will be there. Some books or whatever they used, that also will be there in that below the stupa. The Amaravati stupa began in about 200 BC, but was completely reconstructed in the second half of the 2nd century. Okay, now Amaravati is also in news, trying to become the capital of Andhra Pradesh, the new Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so Amaravati stupa began in about 200 BC, but was completely reconstructed in the second half of the 2nd century AD. Its dome measured 53 meters across the base, and it seems to have been 33 meters in height. The Amaravati stupa is full of sculptures which depict the various scenes from the life of Buddha. Okay, life of Buddha, various things are there in the Amaravati stupa. Okay, here also you should see Amaravati, the worship of Buddha is shown. Language. The official language of Satavahana was Prakrit. Okay, please remember this. Satavahana language is Prakrit. Okay, even though we see a lot of Sanskritization, Indianization and all, Prakrit is the official language of Satavahana kingdom. All inscriptions were composed in the language and written in the Brahmi script, as was the case in Ashokan time. Some Satavahana kings may have composed Prakrit books. One Prakrit book is this thing, Gata Saptasati. Okay, Gata Saptasati. It's attributed to a Satavahana king named Hala. Okay, so now I think 4 names we learned: Gautamiputra Satkarni, Vasishthaputra Pulumai or something, and then Yajnasri Satkarni, and this is the 4th one, Hala. Okay, so 4 kings of Satavahana kingdom you know in one single chapter. Okay. So remember that the order also, and it consists of 700 verses, all written in Prakrit, but it seems to have been fully retouched but later, possibly after 6th century AD. Okay, these questions if you want you can pause and see. Anyway, I'll show you the MCQs which we need to practice. Okay, 2 questions. Which of the following Satavahana ruler had an obsession for trade and travel and thus had an image of ship on his coins? I have already taught you, so please tell me in comment section what is the right answer. Next thing, the modern title of Gandhi is derived from the ancient term Gandhika, which was a general term used for lawyers, traders, shopkeepers, orators. Tell me in comment section what does it mean. Next question, which of the following are true regarding Satavahana dynasty? Their official language was Sanskrit, their successors were Ikshvakus, One important pros attributed to Satavahana time is the Gata Saptasati. Many terms used for officials were common between Satavahanas and the Mauryas. Whether all these are true or if anything is false. Okay, so try to answer by the test series. 300 plus MCQs from ancient history alone means that is more than enough. Okay, from the standard textbook I am giving to you. So please ensure your success for 2018 prelims. I want everybody who is watching this video to clear prelims. That is why I am telling. So please contact me after seeing the video in the description link below. Okay, so till I come with the next video. Thank you and have a nice day.